If you are a nursing student in New Zealand or you are thinking about studying nursing in Aotearoa, then this video is here to help you through your final semester at nursing school. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Charlotte. I'm a registered nurse and a graduate of AUT, and today we are going to be talking all about ACE and NETP and NESP so that you can cruise through your final semester of nursing school feeling confident about what happens after you graduate. Before we get into everything, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, but for now let's dive right in. So first things first, we are briefly going to cover what NETP and NESP is, because it will help you understand why you have to do the ACE application process, and then later in the video after we've talked about ACE, we'll circle back to NETP and NESP and go into it a little bit more in depth. So what is NETP and NESP and what do they stand for? So NETP stands for New Entrance to Practice, and NESP stands for New Entry to Specialist Practice, and NESP is specifically for mental health and addictions nursing, and pretty much both are programs which new grad nurses will enter into when they get their first nursing job, and it will provide you with a little bit of extra support, preceptorship and extra study opportunities to ensure a smooth transition into your new career as a nurse. The majority of new grad nurses will go through NETP and NESP because the majority of new grad nurses will find their first job through the ACE application process, and that is how the ACE application process and NETP and NESP link together. So we'll talk about NETP and NESP a little more in depth a bit later in the video, but for now let's move on to ACE, which is the application portal which you'll be introduced to in your final semester of nursing school. So what is ACE? What does it stand for? ACE stands for Advanced Choice of Employment, and it is a job application portal and algorithm specifically for registered and enrolled nursing students. The reason why we have ACE is to help ensure that you get your first nursing job with as little stress and hassle as possible, and also so that you can start working almost immediately after you graduate. It is through ACE where you apply for jobs which are specifically linked with the NETP and NESP programs, so that your first nursing job will also be designed to support you in the transition to confidence as a registered or enrolled nurse. So how does ACE work? It
sounds really complicated
because there's a lot of different components that go into it, but essentially you will first make an account on the ACE website, which I will link in the description box below for easy access. Once you've got your account, you then apply for the current ACE intake. You then have to upload a cover letter, a resume, certified academic documents and identification documents onto your account. After this, an algorithm matches your preferred employers and job preferences to employers with matching new grad job openings to the ones that you are looking for. And then your contact details, your cover letter, your resume, all of that jazz will then get sent off to the employers, where they can then contact you to arrange a job interview if they are interested in you. You can get multiple job interviews or you can get no job interviews, but after the job interviewing timeline ends, the employers will then rank all of the students that they interviewed with, and the algorithm will match the employer's top preferences with your preferences. So in the end, you only get one job offer, which you have to accept, or if you decline it, you then have to either find a job independently or wait until the next ACE intake. If you didn't get a job interview or you didn't get ranked by the employers that you interviewed with, you then go into the National Talent Pool, which is a talent pool open to all employers who are advertising jobs for NETP and NESP positions, regardless of your preferences, and you will likely get a job that way. So I promise we will talk a little bit more about this in depth later. We'll also talk more about the employer preferences and the practice setting preferences once we start going through the application process. So now that we know what ACE is and how it works, what do you actually need for your ACE applications? So first you will need to complete each section of the application form online, and this includes an eligibility for ACE nursing, your personal details, education section, a declaration section, a workforce and diversity questionnaire, and consent. These actually don't take very long at all, so I would recommend when you set up your account, you just get through these quickly and then it's out of the way. So you will need to supply 2 referees to ACE, and you cannot choose them. One of them has to be a clinical tutor from your final pre-reg placement, and the other has to be a nurse preceptor from your final pre-reg placement. According to ACE, the only exception to this rule is if you are a student from Southern IT, UCOL or Otago Polytechnic, and if this is you, then you can use your references from the placement directly prior to your final year due to starting your TPP late in accordance with the ACE timelines. So they'll have more information on the website, and you can email them if you need more information or clarification about that. Back to the application, the next thing you have to do, and this is the fun part, is you have to select your employee and your practice setting preferences. So with the employer preferences, you are selecting from employers such as Southern Cross and Te Whatu Ora, and you will have to specify which part of the country or region of the country you want to be employed by, because for example Te Whatu Ora is all across New Zealand, so you'll have to select the region of Te Whatu Ora that you're specifically applying to. You can select up to 3 employers who you want to work for, and then you rank them from your top pick into your last pick. According to ACE, it is recommended that applicants apply to multiple employers, as this means that your application can be sent out and considered for a greater number of applications. However, applicants are discouraged from selecting any employer who they would not want to work for, because if they are matched to that employer, there is an expectation that you accept the job offer. So just keep this in mind when you're making your preferences, because you only get one job offer. So if it's from an employee who actually didn't want to work for but you put it down, then you either have to accept it and deal with that, or you have to wait until the next ACE application intake. So you can change your employee preferences up until the application deadline, and if you want to change your employee preferences after this deadline, all you have to do is email ACE specifically using the email template they have on their website, and they will change it for you. You don't have to do anything. You just have to email them asking it to change it, and they will organize everything for you. One of the frequently asked questions is about whether you can apply to private hospitals as employers. The short answer is no. You cannot apply to private hospitals through ACE, with the exception of Southern Cross. If you're wanting to apply to a private hospital, then you have to do this independently. As for the practice settings, this is the type of nursing job that you are applying for and that you can see yourself doing. So some examples of practice settings include general medicine, pediatrics, older adult health, general surgical, oncology, neonatal, pre-operative care, mental health and addictions, which is the one that you would select if you're looking to go into the NESP program. And there are many more. I think in total there are 18 practice settings options, so you have quite a variety to choose from, which is very exciting. So with this section, you select 5 practice setting options, and just like before, you rank them from your top pick to your last pick. With the practice settings, again, you can change them up until the application deadline. However, if you change your mind after the application deadline, ACE cannot change them for you and you cannot change them. So think very carefully about where you want to work and where you can see yourself working, because if you change your mind after the application deadline, you won't be able to change it back. If you are like me and you want to apply to primary healthcare, there is one option available in the practice settings, and it is just labelled primary healthcare, and it is looked at as an umbrella term for the following: practice nursing, Plunkett, Department of Corrections, accident and medical centres, iwi providers, specific providers, school nursing, wild child providers, NGOs, and hospice. You just pick primary health as your practice setting, and then in your cover letter, this is where you will go into detail of exactly what type of primary health nursing you want to do. So sometimes primary health care providers will be advertising for new grade positions, and you can apply for these directly to that provider. It will be outside of ACE, but you can still apply for these positions. So now for the boring, stressful stuff, which includes your cover letter, resume, and your personal documents. So firstly, you must provide a current CV, which is uploaded as a PDF PDF because ACE does not accept any document that isn't a PDF. There are templates on the ACE website to help you do this, and I have filmed a video about how to write your own ACE cover letter and CV. I'm editing them at the moment, and when they're uploaded, feel free to check those out as well, because I think they could be really helpful and just take some of the weight off of your shoulders about this process. With the cover letter, you can either make one single cover letter for all of the employers, and it will be very generalized, or you can do a separate cover letter for each employer you are applying to, and this allows you to make it really tailored and specialized to each employer. Every ACE applicant must also supply an up-to-date copy of their most up-to-date Bachelor of Nursing academic transcript, and this has to either have been certified by a Justice of the Peace, a lawyer, a court registrar, or a police officer, or it can be verified by your nursing school as being a true and accurate record of the grades awarded. So because you have to get this signed off by somebody, I would recommend doing this before your final semester, getting it out of the way so that you don't have to worry about it when you're on placement, and then it's just done. You also have to supply certified personal identification documents, again signed off by a Justice of the Peace, a lawyer, court registrar, police officer. These types of documents can include a New Zealand driver's license, your passport, your student ID card, and a birth certificate. On the ACE website,
which again I will have linked in the description box for you to go through everything,
they go really in depth into exactly which types of personal identification documents are appropriate and accepted by ACE. So what happens if you don't complete your application by the closing date? So if it's not completed, then it is assumed by ACE that you're not applying, and they continue the process without you, meaning that you either have to wait until the next ACE intake, or you can independently look for jobs and directly to apply to employers who are advertising for new grad nursing positions. So what happens after the applications close? ACE will then send your CV and resume to the prospective employers that you've ranked who have job openings for new grads in the practice settings that you have selected. And if the employers think that you are a good match for them and they want to know more about you, they will contact you directly and offer you a job interview. After the interview, the employer will then rank you against the other students that they have possibly interviewed, and this ranking will be sent back to ACE. The algorithm then works its magic so that you get matched with the employer of your preference and they get the student of their preference, meaning that you will get one and one only job offer. The results of the algorithm match get sent back to the employer, the successful employer, who can then contact you directly to let you know that you have got a job offer from them. If you were unsuccessfully matched, meaning that you either got no interviews or you were not ranked successfully by the employers you interviewed with, don't fret, because you will still go into the National Talent Pool, which, as I said before, is a talent pool open to all employers regardless of the ones that you've ranked, and they will put up all kinds of job offers regardless of your preference practice setting. So circling back to NETP and NESP, it's typically 12 months long, although it is possible to complete the program in 10 months if you meet all of the academic requirements. Another requirement for the program is that you are employed at 0.8 FTE, which is about 32 hours a week. So as briefly discussed at the start, the goal of the NETP and NESP programs is for nursing graduates to start their careers in Aotearoa well supported, safe, skilled and confident in your practice, and that you have a team who is available to support you. The main aspect of this team is your preceptor, who you get assigned to, and typically whose shift schedule you get matched up to, especially within the first 6 weeks of you starting your job. And in the first 6 weeks you will also share the caseload with them. You can have a couple of preceptors, but you will get assigned a primary preceptor, and there should be a preceptor team available to you made up of your charge nurse and a nurse educator as well. Throughout the program you will do reflections, goal setting and study days, and when you finish the program at the end of the year you will be assessed as having reached the Nursing Council of New Zealand competent level in level 2 in the professional development and recognition program. This is the same for NESP except in the mental health setting, and this was pretty much everything that I could find about NETP and NESP. NETP. Online, it looks like each employer will have different requirements or different ways of carrying out the NETP and NESP programs, and a lot of information about what the study days or the assessments that you have to do were really vague and unclear to me. So what I'm going to do is, when I finish doing the NETP program at the end of the year, I will make another video and give you an update about what NETP is all about and what to expect from it, especially regarding the study days and the assessment side of things. But until then, that is today's video on ACE and NETP and NESP. So I really hope that you guys found this helpful. I'll link the ACE website and all of the resources that I found really helpful in the description box, just so that you can look through it at your own leisure. Leave a comment about NETP or NESP or tips for ACE if you've already gone through it, because sharing is caring and we want to lift each other up in our nursing journeys. Before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. I will see you next Monday with a new video, but until then, have a lovely day and a fabulous week. Bye!
It's rated X. That means you're extra, extra.